Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Daryl Simmons, Fat Ninja DM, social enlightenment through and positive gaming. What's going on, people? Uh, First off, I'm going to try and make this video as quick as possible. Shoutouts. Got more people signed up to my page. Um, if these people, you know, stumbled upon the page on accident or was sent by somebody else, I definitely appreciate it. And the names are James E. Davis, my boy Marcus Payne, James Holcomb, Jamie Ehrenberger, Patrick Gautry. Hopefully I said that right, because that was a total shot in the dark. Ryan Pitts, Ben Sanchez, and Carl Chambers. Thanks a lot, gentlemen. Definitely appreciate it. Um, just any comments, support, just anything big or little, it's always appreciated. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the first topic here. All right, and we're talking about Revolution Virtual Play Space. And as you can see here, the pages are scrolling. Actually, they're going by pretty fast, actually. Um, of course, Mike McDonald and his crew is the one that's behind this game. And when I first came across the game, um, I really wasn't impressed with it too much. But that was several months ago. And by far, the improvements have really just made this game something to kind of take seriously now. For one, it's getting a lot more notoriety. It got greenlit on Steam a little while back, so now it's on Steam. So now, of course, more people uh, can see what it is, and hell, it's fucking cheap. I mean, $20. Um, I mean, look into it, especially if you got a group of players that like to play like war games. I mean, it's not only conducive to that; it's also cool for other stuff too. Like the screenshot we're seeing here. This is the core playset. Of course, it screams Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, and other role playing games of that same vein. Um, One of the cool things about the miniatures, you can have little voice clips, and as the PCs approach one, the DM can click it, and it could say, say the DM put in, stop interlopers, stop messing with my treasure. I know that's what you want. Leave now or die. Something like that. So that's kind of cool, and also you have like the wall that has the torch by it, the one closest to your field of vision, and the bench that's individually placed. It's not like preset crap that you can't move. It's put there by the person who makes the dungeons or the other pieces of landscape that your players will be traveling through. So you can really detail your dungeon or other structures to really get the most out of what you want to do for your one shot or your campaign. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one here. This one is the Megaplay set, and of course, it's a screaming Star Wars, Star Trek, maybe some Firefly. Yeah, just a little. And the planets that you see there, those are not superimposed. Those are actually objects that have been placed there on the map by the DM. So you can really get a feel of the vastness of space. If you have one planet on the other side of the map and another one on the opposite side of the map, it kind of gives that scale a little bit. And so far, all these maps, the tiles for them have been hexed. They do have, just regular, tile based battle maps or battlegrounds or what have you. So Revolution Virtual Play Space does support both of those setups. All right, moving on to the next one here. This is the Rust playset, and basically automatically tells you, hey, this is like Twisted Metal, Carmageddon, Mad Max, stuff like that. And the objects that you can put there also can kind of really push forward, like what time period or setting that you're going for. So, of course, that's always super awesome, being able to, have your setting come more alive with the appropriate items or objects, for that setting. Okay, going to move on to the next one here. This is one of the newer play sets that has come out. This is the Wilds play set, and of course, as you can see from the screenshot, they're so cute, so cute. Yeah, this is definitely for kids. Parents might be hesitant to let their child see D&D and Pathfinder monsters. They're really scary or whatnot. This definitely takes a playful take on monsters and stuff. So, good on Mr. McDonald and his crew for giving something for the kiddies to get used to, and hopefully get them into role playing and spawn a new wave of players. Well, hopefully smarter than the current ones that are most of the current ones that are out there now. All right, move on to the next one here. This one is the Conflict playset, and I know this one is one that's compatible with the other playset we'll be seeing here in a little bit, the Rampart playset. The Conflict playset, of course, you can see tanks, choppers, stuff like that. So, people that like to get their war games on, it's definitely something for you to look at. And the one important thing about, it goes for any of the play sets that can be used on the virtual play space. The miniature can actually go into a first person view, and that really helps for war games, because I've seen my fair share of war games. One of the main things that is always talked about: how do you determine line of sight? Say a mech or something is behind a big tree or a really huge building, and just a little bit of its arm is sticking out from the side. Well, can your vehicle see enough of that mech to hit it? Well, if you go in a first-person view on the vehicle in question, you can actually see from the first-person view if you have enough line of sight to see if that arm is exposed enough for you to fire and possibly hit. So that's really super cool. And also, for the other thing about these play sets, they're all system agnostic, so they're not locked into like 5e or Pathfinder rules or Fate rules or whatever. Even though most of the play sets that are out there on the market can somehow, in shape, form, or fashion, be made up to use for these play sets. So that's another cool thing of the virtual play space. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one here, and this is another one of the newer ones that's been put out. It's the Demigods playset. Of course, it says superheroes. It's written all over it. So definitely cool. And the cool thing about the miniatures, each individual one, just like a character, can have its own character sheet. By I think it's right clicking on the character sheet, the character sheet. By either right clicking, like double right click or double left click, you can see the character sheet of the miniature. So all your important information is on a virtual sheet that you can look at any time to maybe you forgot how a spell is used or a feature is used. You just simply uh, click on the miniature, and then all the information is just sitting right there, ready for you to reference. All right, let's go to the next one. This is the Rampart playset. Of course, mechs, turrets, drones. So, yeah, can you say mech warrior, uh, Robotech, Gundam, all that good stuff. It's the toys. It's the toys the big boys play with. Yeah, this is definitely conducive to mech battles and stuff, and there are a lot of different miniatures for all these play sets, and people that want to delve into it can make their own custom made ones, and have them to be used in the virtual play space. So not only can miniatures have little voice clips attached to them, the person can also uh, make their own and then put them into the game as well. So let's go on back to the first screen here. Um, so my, I guess, partial reviews. I haven't really had a lot of time to really get in and really dig down to the bare bones of what the virtual play space is, but there is a lot of things that I have gleaned from it also. Still, it's kind of an oxymoron. I haven't had a lot of time to play with it, but I've still learned a lot. Um, this game is in early access, and of course, when you have early access, a lot of people apply a stigma to it. It's like, oh well, they're just gonna just suck money off people and never really finish the game. Um, Mike McDonald and his team are always updating the game, either crushing bugs, adding new features like maybe new upgrades to the UI, which they've done in a previous update. Um, there are tooltips for days. I mean, everything damn near has a tooltip for it. So you're never at a loss of what something means. If you can hover over a tab on the screen, probably 9.5 times out of 10 is going to have a tooltip with it to help you find what you're looking for. So big ups to Mike McDonald and his team for making a damn good product, and also letting me get another key to have this game on Steam so I could start messing around with it and keep up with all the updates. So thanks a lot, Mr. McDonald and your team for that. I definitely do appreciate that. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our final topic of this video. All right. Um, a lot of negative stuff has been going around the groups of the role playing community, and I use the term very loosely of the word community because there really isn't a community. It's been floundering for a while, and it had a nice time where there was a lot of hangouts being put up and a lot of different people talking that wouldn't normally talk to each other. But now we've gone back to that closed off. Some people are being jerks or whatever, so now everybody wants to have private hangouts, and now it's got to the point to where hangouts are moderated and stuff. And hey, I totally get that because you're just trying to keep it to where negative people can't get into your hangouts, and I totally understand that. But it shouldn't even be that way. People should just be grown up enough to have a difference of opinion, and then just say, hey, You think your way, I think mine, then leave it at that. Not throwing names about and doing other stuff. But hey, that's just how it is, and that's the way it probably will be. When I first joined these Facebook groups several months back, I was thinking to myself, man, there are so many people that do so many different cool things. You know, you got map building, world building, just putting out great tutorials, having great live plays of games, doing reviews on games. And like I said, I asked myself, what can I do? What can I bring to the table? And I saw this niche. It's like people need to have bridges built, either through former quote unquote guild mates that have broken off and made up their own groups, either just by necessity or maybe leaving on bad terms or whatever. um, I was trying my best to fill that gap, build those bridges, and unfortunately I started to get affected by the negativity, and yeah, I just fell in that trap that I really didn't want to fall into and didn't think I would ever fall into. But that brings me to what uh, announcement I'm going to make. Me and Marcus Payne, and he's got his YouTube channel up now, so make sure you check him out. As Power Surge Gaming, and of course my boy Nelson, Infinite Roleplay. Of course, always check him out. I mean, if you're a YouTuber or you watch YouTube and you don't have Nelson subscribed, and there's something wrong with you. I mean, the man is a great artist. He's a great personality, and he's doing his thing his way, but he's being very respectful and being very honorable about it. And another person joining me on this endeavor is also Mike the Piper. So go check his YouTube page out, of course, because once again, another cool ass dude, full of passion, and he wants to absorb as much knowledge for the games as possible. Not just 5e. He wants to just soak up as much knowledge as he can for every gaming system possible that he can get his hands on. So we're not going to do anything revolutionary. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. We're just some like-minded people that want to have more of a community focus. Still do our own thing. Excuse me, but bring more of a get that camaraderie back. Get that thing to where if someone new comes to the groups, um, somebody can reach out to them and say, hey, what games you into, uh, what you like to watch as far as, live plays, whatnot. Um, so that person can quickly get pointed in the general direction where he or she needs to go. So that's all I'll say for that right now. There will be more stuff we'll be revealing as time goes on. But I'm really excited about it, and I gotta thank Marcus Payne for that because I wanted to do something like this again, and I was just kind of just dragging my feet about it. But with his enthusiasm about trying to do this, got me back up into the saddle to try to spread a little positive energy around this desolate landscape right now called the RPG community. So with that, I'm gonna get the hell out of here because I'm fat, I'm old, I'm tired. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of there. But one more thing, it takes a village to raise a child. Everybody's heard that, but it also takes one child to destroy it. Don't be that child. Be the village. Help out the children or the child. Give them the proper information and the right attitude so that child has become that antichrist or anti-hero, you know, to, the one that just destroys everything and causes chaos. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Fat Ninja DM. Check out my favorite, my regular spots. RPG Realm Changers on Facebook. Fat Ninja DM on YouTube. And when you least expected it, I just stole your critical hit. Later, folks.